Yeah, fine then. Yesterday we have seen some other questions on for Java, and a few more questions we will see in different topics. We'll see collections. Yesterday we did not cover the collections topic. We'll see some other questions on the collections. Okay. What is the difference between set and list? Right, anyone?
Sir, set doesn't contain any duplicate elements, whereas list contain duplicate elements. Set is unordered and indexed, whereas list is ordered and indexed. Implementation structure is array for list. For set, it is hashing technique. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. All right. A set and list are both are interfaces. Right. These are all coming from collections interface. Collection interface. Okay, collection is the root interface. Under that, these two are the child interfaces. Both are why we will use collection to store the group of elements in a single object. If you want to store a group of elements, right, we will use collection. Right, a list is a coming to list. List is a ordered collection. Ordered collection means what? Whatever order we will store, same order it will display. Right, suppose whatever order we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same order it will display while printing also. That means it will preserve the order. List will preserve the order, and then it will allow duplicates. It will allow duplicates also. Right, list will allow duplicate elements. We can store the duplicates also. And we can access elements by using index. Right, by using index, that means if you want to insert element, retrieve element, delete element, we can use the index. These are the main features of it. Coming to set, it will be a set is a unordered collection. That means whatever order we will insert, it will not print. It is not sure it will print in the same order. It is a unordered collection. It will not preserve the order. It does not allow duplicates. Right. It will not allow if you store also while printing, what will happen? It will remove automatically. Set does not allow duplicates and it will not support index also. We cannot insert or retrieve by using index. Right. These are the some of the, and then one more important point we can tell what are the implementation classes of the list. Right. List is array list, linked list, vector, stack. These are all the implementation classes of the list. Set implementation classes as set, linked, as set, preset. And these are the some of the implementation classes. Okay, fine. Suppose I have a scenario like right, maybe this question also sometimes will get
performance also, can we add one more point, like set consumes a lot of memory? One of the difference when comparison between these two. Just idea.
Right, why it will take? Any idea?
Because, I mean, as per my knowledge, like set is going to have like inbuilt saving of whatever the values, and it will retain those values until we destroy the set or those things, and list will not save those. That is what my idea. So the consumption of memory is high for set.
Okay, that may be the case, right? In case of linked list,
Okay.
or right, difference between linked list and array list.
Yeah.
Set will not linked
Mhm.
hash it. When you are erase see list also will take a more memory set also when we are using linked hash set.
Okay.
Linked hash set. What is
Okay.
the linked hash set? How internal structure will be? It will be a right. It will have a linked list. That means it will have a pointers. That means three nodes it will have: start node, middle node, and end node. That means one node will contain three parts. That means
Okay.
address of the previous element and element value and address of the next element.
Hmm.
Linked set. Because of that right set maybe list, linked asset will take more memory. That because of the pointers we have to store the address of the different nodes,
Yeah.
previous and the next nodes.
Hmm.
Maybe that is maybe.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
And then okay, now we'll move to next one. Okay, difference between hash map and linked hash map. Right, can you answer this? Anyone? Hash map and linked hash map. Okay, what is map first of all? Why we will use map?
Which stores elements in form of key value pairs.
Right.
Map is interface, because hash map is a class of a interface.
Right. Right. Map is a also it is a part of the collection. Right. Collection. So far, asset linked asset queues. These are all used to store the group of elements continuously. Group of elements if you want to store like a single like a array. If you want to store like an array, we will go for list and asset these things group of objects. But if sometimes we require a key value pairs, like I want to store student ID with student name or student name with the student marks, student name with the student marks, or I want to store a like a key and value. That means I want to store some key corresponding value. In interviews also mostly we'll get some questions that they will ask given a string and count each character how many times. That is a famous question every time we will get. In a string, each character how many times it repeats. Right? That means in that case we can use the map concept and then we can store. Right, map is used to store a group of values as a key value pair. Group of values as a key value pair in a single object. Right, then map will not allow duplicate keys. Right. Map usually it will not allow duplicate keys, but values can be duplicated. Right. Values can be duplicated. That means we can store a different students. Different students can have same marks. Right. Different students. Student name as a key. Name should be unique maybe, and values can be duplicated. Different student can get the same marks. Right. And that is one example. Right. One more is it will allow null keys. Some of the maps will allow null keys and some of the maps will not allow. Right. We can also tell internal data structure of in the collections, right? Each and every class will have internal data structure. Right, we cannot remember all those things, but in interview sometimes they will ask what is the internal data structure of the hash map, linked hash map, tree map. Right, these are the implemented classes of the map, hash map, tree map, linked hash map. These are all. Right, but iteration also very important on the hash map. Hash map we can iterate in multiple ways. We can use entry set, we can use the key set, we can use the lambda expressions. Right, iterations also important. Okay, that is fine then. Coming to next question. Right, what is the difference between, if we have idea, suppose maybe I have a question like scenario. I have a list of students. Okay, I have a list. I am storing a student objects. Okay, S1, S2, S3. I have created multiple students. I have stored in a list. Now the question is, I want to print in a sorting order. That means I want to print sorting order. Best student will have a IDs, student name. The student is a class. Class will contain variables. A student ID, student name. Okay, I am storing in a different order. List, what it will do list? It will preserve the order. So I am storing student 10 is the student 10 first. Student 9 is the next. Student 1 is next, like that. Unordered. But while printing, I want to print in a order based on the student ID. Right, how you will achieve it? Any idea? I want to print a list of students in a order by using student ID. Anyone have idea how we will achieve it?
Sir, I think sort inbuilt function is there in collections. Collections dot sort of collect.
Okay. Okay. Look, that will work only for not for user defined classes. That will work only string, integer, list of string, list of integer, list of double, those things. Because if you have your own classes, student is our own class. That means user defined class, student class, employee class, some other classes. Collection dot sort will not work. If you want to sort user defined objects, then we go for comparable comparator. If you have idea about it, comparable comparator. Those are two interfaces. By using those things, we can sort. Comparable is the natural sorting order. Comparator is, we want to sort on multiple fields, we can go for comparator. Right. By using those two things, we can just go through it. That is also one of the important question we can expect. Comparable comparator. By using those, we can sort the user defined objects. Okay, fine. Coming next, move to one more question. Difference between double equal and equal. This is also a famous question. Difference between double equal and equal. Anyone? Anyone? No one have idea?
The double equal, it compares the content, object content, whereas equal compares the object reference.
I told correctly, but in reverse order you told. Okay. Right. These two are double equal to equals. Right. Very famous. We will get definitely a string this question. Right. Double equal to means what it will do? It will compare the object references. Whenever we have a string, two strings are there. S1 double equal to S2. It will compare the memory addresses where it will store. Once you created a string S1, it will create some memory. String S2, it will create one memory. Double equal to means it will compare the memory addresses, not the content. If both strings have a same content, but the memory addresses are different, then it will return a false. Double equal to will compare the memory address for object reference, not the primitive types. If you are comparing normal int value, suppose int I equal to 10, int j equal to I equal to j, then it will not compare memory address. There it will compare normal way. But objects, coming to objects, double equal to will compare memory addresses. Dot equal method, equals method will compare a content. Equal method will compare content. That means if both the strings have same content, it will true. It will return the true. Otherwise false. Simple. But a double equal to matches. Suppose if you know the concept of string constant port, whenever we are string, we can create a string two ways. One way is string literal. One is the by using object way. That means a string literal means a string s1 equal to some name automation. String s2 equal to automation. Where it will create the object in a string constant. Whenever we are creating in a literal way, then it will store the memory. It will create a memory in a string constant pool and it will store there. So whenever we are creating content is same. Suppose string s1 equal to automation, string s2 equal to automation. Content is same for both the strings. Content is same for both the strings. That means what it will happen, it will store in a same memory address in the string constant pool. Same memory address. If strings have same content, it will store in a same memory address. So whenever you are comparing S1 equal to S2, S1 equal to S2, it will true. It will become true. That is because memory addresses are same, not because of content. So we also get a string S1 equal to another way of creating string object is string S1 equal to new string of. We can give in the constructor automation object way. If you create in a new keyword by using a new keyword, if you create the object, every time it will create a different memory. Every time it will create a different memory. It will create in a heap memory, not in the string constant form. Whenever we are using a new keyword to create the string object, it will create a memory in the heap memory. So if I create a string s1 equal to new string, string s2 equal to new string, it will create different memories. Different memories. So if we compare those s1 equal to s2, it will create a return a false because memory addresses are different. Memory addresses are different. So we will get a false. But if we use the content s1 dot equals s2, it will be written true because the equals method will compare the content. Double equal to will return. But you should know if you know the concept of the string, then only you can able to answer double equal to method. If you create in a literal way, if the content is same, it will store in a string constant pool, same memory address. But if you have a content is different, S1 equal to automation, S2 equal to some testing. Different content means a different memory address in the string constant pool. If you create with a new keyword, always different memory address. Right, we should know these concepts while using string. Definitely, we can also get some questions on the string also. Okay, fine. In exception handling, yesterday we have covered a few of the questions. Now, what are the purpose of throw and throws keyword? Why we need to use throw and throws keyword?
So throw is used to throw the exception explicitly for customized exception.
Right.
Whereas throw is a keyword, throws, which is used to handle checked exceptions.
All right.
Throws is used at state method level, whereas throw is used at statement level.
All right. Okay, anyone want to try? Okay, fine. Throw and both are the two keywords we will use in the exception handling. Right. Throw is used to throw some exception. You want to throw explicitly some exception. Right. Then we will use the throw keyword. Suppose if we take a scenario like student marks. Right. I have a condition verifying student marks. If student is greater than 35. Right. Greater than 35. Suppose he is a passed. Less than 35. Less than 35 is failed. In the failed scenario, I want to throw exception. All right. Then what we can do if first we will verify if marks greater than 35. Okay, we'll print simply pass. Else block, what we will do if we is less than 35. Then we can throw new exception. In the exception, we can keep our own message. Okay, student got a less than 35 marks, so he is failed. Student is failed. Right, we can use the throw keyword to throw our own exception. If you want to throw the exception by using, we can use the throw keyword. You can throw implicit already predefined exception, or you can throw your own exception also. That means we can also create user defined exceptions. We can also create user defined exceptions. Right. By using throw keyword, we can throw the exception with some custom message. Why we need to throw two? First of all, yesterday we discussed why we need to use exception handling. Right. One is to provide a better message. Right. Whenever exception is occurred, we want to provide a better message in the report. Understandable, meaningful messages. Another one is to continue further. Suppose sometimes we want to exception is occurred, but still I want to continue further. Instead of terminating the application, I want to continue further. These are the two main things for exception handling why we'll use. So whenever you are throwing a exception, we need to give some proper message. Throw new exception inside a parenthesis. That means inside a constructor, we have to give some proper message. Why you are throwing exception? What is the reason? Right. If you throw the exception, what will happen? It will stop the program. Right. That is one. Throw is used to throw a exception. Either custom exception or predefined exception we can throw it. So throws keyword. Throws keyword we will use at method header level. Method header. That means why we need to use there. Suppose you are calling some method. Suppose you have created one method to insert the data. Suppose insert student. Right. Insert student. Maybe it has in the method header insert student. throws okay student something a student creation failed. Anything we can give our own exception also. Student creation name of the exception is a student creation failed. Or you can use exception indirectly. Either we can use our own exception or inbuilt exception, exception runtime exception, right? File not found exception, right? Any exception. In throws keyword, we will use at header level. Why we need to use? Suppose we are inserting a record. Insert record has a insert failed exception in the throws. Suppose you are calling that method. That means you are calling insert. You have created object. You are calling object dot insert record. You are passing the data. Right? You are trying to insert. In middle something is happened. It got failed. That means some exception is occurred. Now what is telling? You are calling that method. That method is intimating us. You may get insert failed exception. Throws keyword tell. Intimate us. Whoever calling, it will intimate them. You may get this exception. You may get this exception. Please handle it. Please handle it. That means I am not handling. You take care of it. Throws keyword intimate the caller function to handle the exception. That means you are calling a some method. It has a throws keyword at the method header level. It is intimating whoever calling. You are calling my method. Please take care. You may get this exception. You may get this exception. Mostly throws we will use for checked exceptions. Unchecked also we can use, but mostly we'll use for checked exception. That means suppose if you take a file not found exception, checked exceptions. Right, we will go for next question. That is right. Throws keyword we will use at header level. We can have any number of exceptions. Throws you can use runtime exception, multiple exceptions we can have at a method header level. It will intimate the caller function. Whoever calling the method, it will intimate them. Please handle these exceptions. You may get these exceptions. You are calling my method, so you will get these exceptions. Please handle it. That is the throws. Right now we will see what is checked and unchecked exception. Right, what is checked and unchecked exception? Anyone? Right, you can tell whatever it may be, whether it is a correct or not. Just open up what is checked and unchecked.
Sir, if a compiler can check and anticipate the exception during compile time, it is checked exceptions. If it is unable to check, it is unchecked exception.
Okay. Okay. Checked and unchecked exceptions. Right. If you know the hierarchy of the exception, sometimes we'll get what is the hierarchy of the exception. Right. Throwable is the root interface for all exceptions. Throwable. Throwable is the root exception for all the exceptions. Under throwable, we have two types. One is the exception, one is the error. One is the exception, one is the error. Errors we cannot handle. Errors we cannot handle in the program. Right, because stack overflow error. Stack overflow means memory is full, suppose. Obviously, our program while executing, your memory was full. We cannot do anything. Program will stop. Once it is stopped, then only we can remove the some memory and then we can execute again. Right, errors we cannot handle in the program. But only exceptions we can handle. Exceptions we can handle in the program. In exception also we have two types. One is the runtime exception and checked exception. Runtime we can also call unchecked exception. Unchecked and checked. Right. Runtime exception is called a unchecked. That means runtime exception. That means While running the program, we will get a exceptions. While running the program, we will get a exception. Those are all runtime or unchecked exceptions. That means it is not mandatory to handle. Runtime exceptions are not mandatory to handle. Right, like runtime exceptions means what? Suppose due to programming our coding issues, we can get exception or some data issue. You are getting the data from some Excel file or JSON or database. You are trying to get the data, but data is not available. In that case also, we will get some exceptions, like a null pointer exception. That you are calling any method on the object which is a null. Suppose string s equal to null. You are calling s dot equal method. You are calling a method on the null. So we will get immediately null pointer exception. That is a runtime exception. We don't know while writing the code. While executing the code, we will get exception. Because of that, we will call it as a runtime or unchecked exceptions. Right, like this null pointer exception or arithmetic exception or array index out of bounds exception, right, class cast exception. These are all runtime exceptions. These are all not mandatory to handle. These are all optional, right? But checked exceptions, coming to checked exception, these are all mandatory to handle. While writing the code itself, we have to handle it. Like file not found exception. Suppose you are reading a file. You are reading a file, Excel file or JSON file or property file, any file. So it will immediately ask us to handle the exception because you are calling a some method to read the file or to create a file. Right. Those methods, it will have a throws keyword. Whatever, while reading the file or writing the file, you have to call some methods. So those methods will have throws keyword at method header. That means they are intimating. We are calling those methods. So those are all intimating us. You may get a file not found exception. While reading the file, you may get a, that means a file, if you are sending wrong path, wrong file name, you will get file not found exception. So it is intimating whoever calling, you will get a file not found exception. So checked exceptions we have to handle at the time of writing code itself. How to handle? By using try and catch or throws keyword. Either way we can handle it by using try and catch or throws keyword. Like file not found exception, SQL exception, interrupted exception. Right? These are all the checked exceptions. Right. These are all important in the exception handling. We may get some questions on it. Right. Now we will move to look at Selenium questions. Some other Selenium questions. Right. Yesterday we have seen a few of the questions, and we'll see few more. What is the difference between find element and find elements? Anyone? What is the difference between find element and find elements? Right, this is the basic question, right? Find element. Yeah.
Find
Yes,
element,
please.
it will return a single element, web element in a page. Whereas find elements will return a list of elements. Find element will throw no such element exception, whereas find elements will throw empty list exception. That's it.
Right. Find elements, whatever you told correct. Find elements will not throw any exception. It will return the empty list. Empty list. Find element will throw the exception. When our element locator, whatever locator we are passing, if it is not able to identify, it will throw no such element exception. Okay. That means find element will return single web element. Suppose locator is identifying multiple elements. It will return the first match element. Sometimes you are giving a locator find element by .xpath or cs. It may sometimes matches with two different. It will identify two elements. It will return the first web element. In that case, that is also one more interview question. If you find element matches more than one element, what will happen? It will not throw any exception. It will return the first element, first matching element. Right. Find elements means it will return the list of web elements. How many it will matches? Either 1, 2, 3. It will return all elements. Right. Find element will throw exception when given locator is not identified. But find elements will return a null. That means empty list. Find elements will return a empty list. That means sometimes we want whether element is not available also, we don't want to throw exception some of the cases. Right, in those cases we can use find elements instead of find element. Find elements we can use so that it will not throw any exception. Our script will not fail. So we can choose find elements in that case. Okay, fine. That is one thing. How to take the screenshot, Selenium? How to capture the screenshot?
By using get screenshot method in take screenshot interface. So first we will convert the driver type into or cast the driver type into take screenshot. And then we'll use get screenshot method.
Right. Because we have to typecast to take screenshot.
Take
Because why
screenshot
driver don't have a get a screenshot method. Whatever we are creating, suppose we are creating a web driver equal to new Chrome driver, Firefox driver. That driver instance don't have a method of get a screenshot. Get a screenshot method is available in take screenshot. So we will typecast driver to take screenshot because it is in a inheritance. It is in a parent-child relationship. Then only we can typecast. Otherwise, if normal two classes are there, A and B, you cannot typecast A to B, B to A. When it is in inheritance concept, then only we can typecast it. Right. So driver we can cast to take screenshot so that we will create the take screenshot object. In the take screenshot object, we have a method get screenshot as. Get screenshot as. We have to pass the output type either file, by stream, bytes, anything. We usually will pass output type as a file.
Byte array.
Bytes
Base
also
64.
we can. Based on the requirement of the sometimes we require a streams to process. Sometimes file is fine. Most of the time it will work output type file. It will return the file object. That file object we need to copy in our system. That is the source file we are getting. That source file we need to copy to the destination. That means in our local system. Or you are executing from the third party, some CI/CD. We have to store it there. Somewhere we need to store. So we will create another file object. Then we will copy the source to destination. How we can copy? We can use the file utils.copy file. We can give the source and destination. It will copy the file. Right. We can attach that. Right. Our goal is to attach. We can attach that screenshot to report also. Extent reports if we are using, we can attach to that. Otherwise, there is no meaning of taking screen. If you take screenshot, 100 screenshots manually, we cannot verify. We have to attach to report. Right, same way. Okay, that is the take screenshot. How to take the screenshot of the. Then next one is I forget. Stale element reference exception. Right. What is stale element reference exception?
We are referring to a element, and if it gets olden, then it is tail element exception.
Actually, stale element means it's no longer attached to the DOM. That means
Down.
it is not available in the DOM structure. Why it will happen? Right.
So
Suppose
refreshing,
yeah.
because of refreshing or navigating to some other link and coming back to there. So in case of if you have a if you have some link and inside some block, inside that block we have a list of web elements. So first we need to navigate to that block and iterate through the every link, and we just wanted to click the link and verify the title. In that case, after verifying each and every link's title, we'll get back to the block, and it is not referring to the block inside loop while iterating. So
Right. Yeah.
in this
Actually,
case,
what will happen here? First, we will identify element. Suppose whatever you told the scenario, you are identifying the link. Then you are clicking on that. There are multiple links in the tab. You want to click and verify all the links are working on. But here, if you identify, when we will get stale element means you have already identified the element. Then you did some operation, any click operation, or mostly because of click operation only it will happen. If we do some click operation, previously identified element now no longer attached to the DOM. That means previously you have identified an element. After clicking on some element, again you want to do some operation on previously identified element. Again you want to do some send keys. Already you have identified element. On that element you are trying to do send keys or click something you are trying to do. But it is not attached to the DOM because of click operation. It got refreshed. So we will get a stale element exception immediately. Correct. Each element, whenever we driver dot find element, each element will have some ID internally. That ID, by using that ID, further it will do the some actions on the web page. But because of some click you have done, it got refreshed. ID got refreshed. That means it is reloaded again. That web element is reloaded again. ID got changed. That means previously whatever you have identified, it become a stale. That means no longer attached to the DOM. It don't know that ID is no longer attached. It generates a new ID internally. So now immediately we'll get stale element. How to handle stale element? Right? How to handle it? Knows anyone knows how to handle the stale element?
and just reinitiate the element again.
Right. We have to reinitialize it again. Find the element. Find element we can do. Then it will freshly it will identify the element and we can do the operation. Right. And that is also one more important question. Stale element reference exception. Okay. Okay. How to handle the file upload scenario? Right. Is there how to handle in Selenium file upload?
By using robot class.
Right. Okay. File upload is the sometimes what will happen. File upload mostly it will have a input tag. Mostly it will have a input tag. So we can by using the send keys directly we can send the path. We can send the directly path. It will attach to it most of the times because it is an input tag. Sometimes what will happen? It will not allow. Some applications will allow, so it will work. Send keys. But sometimes it will not work out. Sometimes maybe it is hidden. If it is hidden means we have to remove that hidden element. Then we can do again send keys. But how to remove? By using JavaScript executor, we can remove that attribute, whatever attribute it has, we can remove it. We can handle. But some more cases, it is not a input tag. If it is input tag, it will work send keys. But if it is not an input tag, we have to click on it. It will open the window. That is not a web-based window. That is a desktop window. So desktop application Selenium cannot handle. So to handle it, either we can use a robot class or auto IT or SQL. There are multiple tools are there. We can use those third-party things, either auto IT or SQL or robot class that we can handle if you want to handle the desktop applications. Right, that is one more. And then okay, next one. Do you have idea on how to handle the shadow DOM elements? Anyone?
Using JavaScript executor.
Right. In Selenium 3, there is a Selenium 4 in different way. Selenium 3 is in different way. Selenium 3, right. It is also like a Windows frames, right? If any elements are in Windows or frames, we have to switch to that and we have to handle. Right. Otherwise, those will not, we cannot able to perform any operation on it. So similarly in the shadow DOM also, right? Similarly in the shadow DOM also, if any elements are under shadow DOM, then we have to first move to that shadow DOM. In Selenium 3, we can use the JavaScript executor to move to the shadow DOM and we can handle little bit complex thing. That means the syntax will be more in Selenium 3. But Selenium 4, they have given inbuilt get shadow root method. We can directly on the web first we have to identify shadow host. Shadow host means what? On top of whenever DOM structure, if you identify, shadow root will be there. You will see shadow root. On top of immediate top of there is a element that we can find out. Immediate shadow root, we have a web element that is shadow host. First we have to identify the shadow host. Normal way, we can identify CSS or XPath. Once we identify the shadow host, then we can get on the web element dot get shadow root. We will get the shadow root. Once we get the shadow root, under that we can handle the different elements. Under shadow root, whatever element we want, we can, but only CSS will work. If you want to handle the shadow root, under shadow root, whatever elements are there, mostly CSS only will work. XPath will not work. Right. In Java Selenium 3, we have to use the JavaScript executor. In Selenium 4, inbuilt they have given it somewhat easy to handle the shadow root elements. Right, fine. Fine. What else? Okay. We'll move to TestNG. Right, yesterday we have covered a few of the questions. We'll see a few other questions. Okay, what are the ways to disable the test case? Right. In TestNG, what are the different ways to disable the test case? Anyone?
Yeah, so give exclude is equal to true, false, true.
Where you will give?
In the XML file, I can give right.
In XML, you will give exclude equal to true. You are telling something correct, but syntax is different. Okay. Right. We have multiple ways to disable the test cases in the TestNG. One is directly at the rate test. We have a attribute at the rate test enabled false. Enabled false. That means it will not execute while executing the regression or something, right? It will disable it. Enabled equal to false. Right. One more is we can use in the TestNG file. In the TestNG file, we can use exclude inside a methods tag exclude, include or exclude. Include means it will execute. Exclude means we are excluding the test case. That is one. Right. It's better if we want to disable test case permanently. Right. What will happen in the real time? Today I will develop one automation test cases for one of the scenario. After 6 months, maybe they want to remove that functionality. Right. They are removing that functionality. So in that case, what we have to disable permanently. If you want to disable permanently, go and don't delete the test cases. Right. Don't delete the test cases in the code. Just do disable it so that we will have some track how many test cases we have automated, how many got removed, right? Those things. If you permanently remove it, we will right a track will we will not unable to track it later. So just disable permanently in the code enabled equal to false. That means it will disable permanently. By default, every test case will have enabled true. If we give, don't give, internally enabled equal to true by default. So if we want to disable, we will keep it as a enabled equal to false. That you want to disable. But in normal cases don't. If you try to execute it, you want to run the regression, don't disable manually, right? Don't do that. If you want to do temporarily, do from XML file, TestNG suite file by using the exclude and the name of the test case. We need to give exclude name equal to what is the test case name, so that it will exclude from the running, either regression or sanity, whatever. Right, those are all the different ways we can do. And one more question. What is the use of data provider? What is the use of data provider?
Yes, sir, it is used for data parameterization. So if you want to run a test case with multiple times with different sets of data, at that time we will use data provider.
Right. Right. Data providers we will use for data driven testing. That means you want to test the same test case with different test data. Functionality will be same, but the test data will be different. Right. Suppose you want to create a Naukri account, suppose 100 Naukri profiles you want to create. Right, profile creation is same, functionality is same, creation, but only test data will be different. So in those cases, we will go for data provider concept. Then we can achieve it. Sometimes they will ask to write down the syntax of it. Definitely they will ask to write down. Right, it will return a two-dimensional object. What is the return type of data provider? Two-dimensional object. We have to read data either from Excel or from JSON or from DB. We can read it, store it in a two-dimensional object. If we store one record, test case will execute one time. If we store 10 records, test case will execute 10 times with different each row. One time our test case will execute. Right. Mostly for data driven testing, we will go for data provider concept. Then what is the difference between one more important question? Difference between soft asset and hard asset. Right. What is the difference between soft and hard assets?
Soft asset doesn't stop the execution of the program, whereas hard asset stops whenever exception occurs.
Right. Right. Hard and whenever you are writing some test case, assertions will play very important. That means test case should have at least one assertion. Without assertion, that is not a test case. We are writing a test case to verify the functionality. So without assertions, you cannot do anything. Without assertion means always test case will pass. Right, whether it is a correct or wrong, always it will pass test case. So we must have at least one assertion. We must have assertions in the test case while writing, because we are writing a test case to validate functionality working or not. How we will validate? By using the assertions. We have soft assertions, hard assertions. Soft assertion means, suppose soft assertion will not terminate. Suppose if it is failed, soft assertion, it will not stop the execution. It will continue further. When we will go for soft assertion, suppose you are doing suppose you are inserting some data. Suppose you are creating some record. Right, employee name, employee first name, last name, email address you are giving. All those things you submitted and stored in a DB. Now I want to validate whether whatever I have given correctly inserted in DB or not. So here I want to verify all first name, last name, email, address, whatever I have given. I don't want to suppose first name is not stored correctly. I don't want to fail immediately. I want to verify all and then I want to show whichever is not stored correctly. Right, I don't want to stop the execution. I want to verify all the fields and I want to show which field is not stored correctly, all the fields. So in that case, we'll go for soft assertion. We have a class soft asset. We have a class called soft asset. Soft asset will have a asset equals method. Right, different methods will be there. We can use once all the validations are done, we have to call the asset all method. Once all the DB first name, last name, email all are validated, then finally we will call asset all. Once you call that asset all, it will validate all the assertions. Then it will show whichever failed. Whichever failed, it will show all. Right. That means I don't want to terminate even if assertion is failed, then we will go for soft assertion. Hard assertions means if a hard assertion is failed, test case will stop the execution. Suppose you are trying to login scenario. If you you have entered username password, you click on the submit button, you are verifying whether successful or not. Right, we will validate. If login is not successful, I don't want to continue further. If login itself is failing, there is no need to continue further. I want to fail the test case. Right. Some scenarios are, if it is not working, I don't want to continue further. I want to stop it there itself. Then we will go for hard assertion. Hard assertions are how to achieve it. In TestNG, we have a assert class. Right. Assert dot assert equals assert boolean, assert true, assert false. There are different methods in the assert class. All are static methods. Directly we can call on the class name. Assert dot assert. Mostly we will use assert equals assert boolean. Right. By using that, if it is failed, assert equals means we are comparing to string values. Right. If it is failed, expected and actual. If it is failed, then it will stop immediately execution. Right. We have to decide when to use hard assertions, when to use soft assertions. We have to tell the examples. Right. These are the some of the difference between hard assertion and soft assertion. Okay, fine. These are the some of the questions. Anyone has anything, any questions? Okay. Yeah, that's it for today then. If you don't have anything, we'll try to schedule next week also. Maybe if you are interested, I will let you know. If you are interested, you can join next week also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for attending. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.